Tonight on Pen, the Writer's Utopia, baby, we have an amazing show. We have an author with us that is going to talk to us about writing our way to a soulful life. Come on in. You know what we need to do before we get started. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe, hit that bell so that you're notified when we go live the next time. And let's get into it. Come on into the Utopia, baby. It's Pen, the Writer's Utopia. Welcome to Pen, the Writer's Utopia. Here is where we welcome writers of all mediums to come be a part of the Writer's Utopia, join the conversation, okay? I'm super excited tonight because I have the honor to be hosting one of my favorite people, y'all. Yes, I told y'all I have a lot of favorite people, and this young lady is one of them. She wears many, many hats, but the one we're going to focus on tonight is her as an author. It is none other than my good friend, my sister, Khetnu Nefer. Welcome, baby, to the Utopia. How are you?
Hey, sister girl, thank you for that amazing intro. I'm glad to know that I'm one of your favorite people because the feeling is mutual and I am
Yes.
feeling mighty. How are you
Yes.
tonight?
I'm great. I'm great. You're looking like you have had a marvelous month. Yeah, I'm throwing it out there because you just came off of travel on an amazing trip. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just returned from Mali, West Africa. Spent a month out there studying African dance, studying African drumming, Malian culture, and a little bit of vacation. So it was really
Yeah.
nice. I'm missing the sun. I'm enjoying my tan. I'm trying to preserve my tan as much as I can. But it was a beautiful experience. It was my first time on the continent. And so I really didn't feel like a visitor. I really felt like I just went home. So
That's amazing.
that was the most beautiful part for me. Like I did not feel like a stranger at all.
Yeah, that is so amazing, amazing. And it taps into what we're talking about tonight because that is part of you living a soulful life. You tapping in to who you are at the core of you. So let's talk a little bit about because you're a whole person. So I can't just talk about you being an author without mentioning some of the great other hats that you wear. So tell our viewers a little bit about you.
Well, basically, I am the Chief Enthusiasm Officer of the Soulful Touch Wellness, which is
Yes.
my mobile holistic health and wellness company located in Washington, D.C. I am originally from a small island in South Carolina, so you may hear a slight accent called Johns Island, South Carolina, which is outside of Charleston. And so
Okay.
I'm a Gullah Geechee girl. And in my practice, I offer various things for women. I specialize in women's health. So I'm a women's health coach, um, community herbalist, birth doula. Most people know me for massage therapy. I've been a massage therapist for over 17 years.
Yes, and
So,
she's amazing. She
uh,
is fantastically amazing. Let me tell you.
yeah,
If you don't live in the DMV, you don't know what you're missing. I'm gonna leave it there. Anyway, so sorry, go ahead, continue.
yeah. So that pretty much span the gamut. There's a lot of certifications that go along with that, but most foremost, I am just a passionate holistic health practitioner who wants to help heal the community.
Yeah.
And doing that, and in my most recent thing outside of the books is I am the founder of the Gullah Geechee Herbal Gathering, which is a herbal conference for Black and Indigenous herbalists and community that's taking place in March down in Charleston. So just
Yes.
just focusing on community healing, specifically women,
Yeah, I was getting
because
ready to point that out.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
because I'm a uterine cancer survivor, so I know firsthand what it's like to suffer in silence and not, do what we need to do for our health.
Yes.
So I
Hmm.
just want to be that example for others and give them the outlet that they need that's affordable, that's not ego driven, and is practical. So
Yeah.
that's what my practice is about, as you know, personally. So
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that I absolutely love about you and that helps promote you to be one of my favorite people is your love for women and all that you do for the uplifting and healing of women. I feel like it's no slight to men, not at all.
no,
But being a woman, you just like a man recognizes things that a man needs, as a woman, there are a lot of things that we need that often goes overlooked, even down to, like you said, not properly taking care of ourselves and, not getting what we need in order to live a healthy life and to be the best version of us. So I love that you continuously promote healing, in the community, especially for women. That's like one of the things that promotes you highly as one of my favorite people. So thank you for all that you do to bring healing to the community and within the community. And guess what, y'all? It didn't stop there because, like she said, in addition to, it doesn't just stop with all that she just named. That's
yeah.
what she does. But she gave us this beautiful, beautiful book, and journal together, the a soulful 28 days to a soulful life. And amazing. So she came out, she was like, bam, here's the book. And I was like, okay. And then she come back and say, now I'm gonna step it up a notch. Bam, here's the journal. Let's talk about that a little bit. I'm sure I know what inspired you to write 28 days to a soulful life, but tell us what exactly woke you up and said, this is what you need to do.
Well, a lot of people don't know is that my bachelor's degree is in English. So I have always loved to write. I've been writing since I was a itty bitty girl. And
Yeah.
so I just always knew deep inside that I wanted to write a book. What type of book, how big of a book, that didn't matter to me. Like I knew one day that I wanted to write a book. And so um, 3 years ago, I started a course. I wrote a course called the 14-Day Self-Love Experience for women who, this time of year, we call it now they're calling it the Love Month and the
Right.
Week of Love and all of that. And I felt like a lot of women were getting pushed to the side because they were single and they weren't coupled up.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to write something to help them explore love for themselves, and so they're not so focused on romantic love,
Right.
because I feel like if you don't have love for yourself, then your relationship
They,
is doomed from the start.
my goodness. Yeah.
So the 14-Day Self-Love course, I wrote that, got some really great reviews. We're actually in the third cohort of that now. And the book kind of came out of that a little bit, like the idea for the book. So the 28 days kind of goes along with the cycle, with women,
Yeah.
the moon cycle, the menstrual cycle. So 28 days is a huge time of change for women. So I
Yeah.
wanted to give them a practical guide, to guide them through those 28 days of their life, regardless if they're actually having a cycle or not, because we still metaphysically go through that as well.
Right.
So that's pretty much where the book came from. It was just something like I always wanted to write a book, and then I had some loose ideas of what it should be about, and that course actually was the impetus that really pushed it forward.
Yeah. Now you brought up something else that's amazing. And it taps again the writer's utopia. We talk about all different mediums of writing, and you just mentioned yet another one, those who are writing instructional manuals and workbooks. That's a part of writing as well. You know, it
Mhm.
may seem simple, but no, putting together a coursework, that's kind of that's kind of major in
It
a sense too. So I love that you started with the self-love journey. And by the way, she doesn't know it, but I'm going to mention it. She has that going on. I don't know if it's still open now, but
is.
it is
Mhm.
February, and she's doing another one. But you extended the amount of days this time, right? Did you do more days this time?
No, it's still 14
It's still
days,
14. Okay.
but it's self-paced. So I like to do it from the 1st to the 14th so that it coincides with Valentine's Day and Black Love Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that again, because everybody's focusing on couples, and people who are single feel like, well, what about
Yeah.
me?
Right.
Or maybe going through a depression because they're not in a couple. And I know that societal pressure because I've been there,
Right.
prior to being in relationships. So I understood that. So this
Yeah.
was an opportunity to do that. So people can still sign up. It's open year round. It's a self-paced course, even if you don't do it in alignment with the group that's doing it, the first 14 days,
Right.
people can still sign up and do it.
All right. So listen, it's still opportunities. Again, don't count yourself out just because you didn't make it in first 14 days. And I'm pushing it. Yes, I am, because it's the writer's utopia. But at the heart of things, T. Lynn, is definitely about female empowerment and self-love. It is a humongous part of who you are. If you're not loving yourself, you cannot expect anyone else to love you the way that you need to be loved, nor will you know what that looks like. So make sure, if you are single and you are looking for something to tap into to help increase your value for yourself, check her out at asoulfultouch.com. Make sure you sign up for her class, and make sure you grab this book. Come on, put that back up again. Yeah, make sure you grab that book, 28 Days to a Soulful Life, and the guided journal, 28 Days to a Soulful Life guided journal. Make sure you grab those. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and give y'all a quick hint, okay? Because right now, this is another reason why she's one of my favorite people, y'all. Because not only is she blessing me with her presence, but she is also blessing y'all. Okay, how's she doing that? If you purchase either the book or the guided journal by March the 1st, so between now and March 1st, you're going to get 10% off if you use the code Key to Life. That's QUI, the number 2 life. It's right there at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you tap in. If now wait a minute, now if you go and jump out there and say, I not only need just one, I need both, she's still blessing you because you get free shipping, baby. And all you gotta do is use the code free key to life. That's QUI, the number 2 LIFE. I'm gonna announce it again later, but those of you all that are watching now and tapping in, go and get the jump on it now, because if she sell out of books before you get yours, it's not my fault. I told you early that there's a blessing in store for you if you buy from her tonight. So I love that you're blessing me and the people at the same time. Now let's get into the soulful life. What would you define? Because I said we're writing our way to a soulful life.
Mhm.
In your definition, what is a soulful life?
A soulful life is one that is unapologetically based on living a holistic life, and that's mind, body, and spirit. And so you know what your boundaries are, you know what makes you happy, you know what it is that you need to do in order for you to be happy, healthy, and whole. So that's what a soulful
Yes.
life is. So it's just unapologetically being in you, but in a healthy way, because you can be unapologetically you and be a jerk and nobody don't want to be around that. But
Hello.
it's about being unapologetically you, but in a way that's happy, healthy, and wholesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's what I try to promote. That's what I try to do in my own life. So I don't tell people things that I don't try to practice for myself. Am I perfect? No. Do I get it right all the time? No. But
No.
the fact that I am trying to strive towards that is something that I want to instill in other people and be that example. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that's what a soulful life is. And that's what, not only the book is about, but how I approach the process. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it was like, why should I write this book? What is my intention that I'm looking to get out of this book? What's the impact that, I
Yes.
want people to see and feel? And it's been that. And it's so beautiful to see that process come forth, because I get the testimonials from somebody like just maybe on day 3, and they're like, oh my God, it's like you read my mind. I needed that, this, that, and the other. But
Yeah.
that's what the intention that I set, to have some impact, to help people get those breakthroughs. So that's one of the major things about the writing process for me, is that knowing what it is that I want to convey, and then going about, making it happen.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, because that is a major part of writing, in all honesty. When you embark on a project, you absolutely want to keep your why at the front
Yes.
of your writing process. Why am I writing? Why am I doing this? Why is it important that this content gets out? It, to me, it helps you stay focused on your mission for that project, right?
Right.
Not to mention that depending on where you are, especially if it's your first time writing a book, that may be something that you really struggle with, because it's different. And I always tell people, and maybe, and maybe you can chime in on this one. When you're writing your project for the first time, it's literally like we talked about earlier. It's like giving birth to a degree. You know what I mean?
It is.
And so there are so many things that are delicate in the process of writing. There are so many things that you're trying to strike a balance on. There are so many distractions that come along with the
Mhm.
process that, makes you almost feel like you're going to abort the project sometimes. And I hate to say it that way, but it is true.
Oh
Like
no,
there are
it's true.
yeah,
That's
there
so
are
true.
distractions that will come along to try to make you abort this project. And you have to keep your why in mind. I always say that life will give you a million reasons to give up and to
Yeah.
give you a why not. Your
Mhm.
job is to focus on the why, to make sure you are bringing forth that thing that only you can do. And I say only you because only you can tell the story the way that you see it and the way it was given to you and purpose for you to tell it.
Right. And what you feel,
And what you
and
feel. Yeah.
and I can honestly attest to that, because I dropped my hard drive like when I was almost halfway through writing my book. So I lost
Yeah.
everything, and I had to start completely over. And trust me, through the tears, the screaming, the yelling, I really wanted to abort the project, because I really felt like that was a sign that I wasn't supposed to complete it, because I lost it all. It wasn't like I had bits and pieces of it saved somewhere else. It was all on that hard drive. And
Yes.
so it took a lot of, self fortitude and stick with itness and just perseverance to say, you know what, I'm gonna start over. And granted, this isn't the same book that I started. So I really felt like it was divine intervention to say, nah, that wasn't the book
Yeah.
that you needed to put out. I know
That's
that's
a
what you thought it was, but
yeah.
and so what came out has even been more impactful. I had one sister friend of mine who actually taught a course on my book to her women's group. And she called me and told me she was going to do it. She didn't ask me.
She was
She
like,
read the
no,
book
I'm
and
letting
she
you
was
know
like,
I'm gonna
yeah,
use this.
right. So it's like, I'm letting you know that I'm teaching your book as a course to the women in my,
Yes.
tribe. And I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know, honestly, if the book that I lost would have been that impactful. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
Hmm.
don't get caught up on the distractions. Don't get caught up on the,
Flexible.
yeah, be flexible,
Be
be open,
flexible.
and
Yeah.
know that it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight, or even if it does, don't poo-poo that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Yeah.
that's what it was for you. Is like, okay, it's going to be that easy.
Yeah.
Or if it's been
And
challenging for you,
and that's
embrace that too.
And that's great that you bring it up. But I'm going to pause right there for a second. I'm going to give our viewers a chance to join the conversation. Okay. So
Awesome.
for those of you that are watching and tuning in, go into the comments, whether you're watching the replay or live, go into the comments and let us know if you're a writer and you've been working on a project, if you can relate to that, having that major distraction that made you feel like, wait a minute, maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing right now, to make you turn around. Share with us in the comments. Join the conversation. What was your moment where you realized you had to press through? And did it change the course of your material when you picked it up and pressed through? I hope I said that right where you got it. So let's try that one more time.
Yeah.
What was it that you encountered as a big distraction that almost made you want to quit you writing your book or your project rather?
Right.
And then did you have an aha moment? Did it make you change the course of the material you were writing? Join the conversation down in the comments. We're definitely watching to see what you guys have going on. But that is something that, just picking back up, that's so true. I changed course as well in the middle of writing my book. What I thought was going to be a nonfiction book turned out to be a fiction book. But it worked out so much greater for me because it allowed me to take the ingredients of what I had and tell it in a creative way. Because for me, I feel like sometimes it's great to have some in your face moments, right? But then sometimes some of these in your face moments can be a little trying. And you're not ready for it, and you're not able to really recognize yourself, or it strikes up those emotions that make you want to run. But if you see yourself in an entertaining way, and you're like, man, that character really resembles what I'm going through, you may be more susceptible to receiving that, or receiving and looking and seeing yourself and saying, oh, this is something I can do different. So I took a different approach. I changed to a fiction, and it worked out well. I didn't see how that was going to work in the beginning, but
Right.
I went away. I had to scrap what I was doing and
Yeah.
reframe it into fiction. But at the end of the day, it worked out great. So yeah, we want to hear from you guys. Join this conversation now. She dropped her hard drive. I'm not gonna lie. You drop a hard drive, it breaks, and your whole book gone, and you almost finished. That's enough to be like,
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
done. Like
maybe.
that's it. It's not supposed to happen, and was able to crank it back out almost in the same timeline that I would have probably finished that first one. So it
Yeah,
gave me greater motivation now to say, oh no, I'm not a quitter. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna do what I set out to do, because
yes,
in the past I had a habit of just starting things and never seeing it to
flourishing.
fruition.
Yep.
And so it
Hmm.
was just like, no, I'm going to complete this. I'm going to
Yeah,
do this. And even, I don't care if I sold 2 books, I would have the satisfaction of knowing that I completed something that I started. I did it from my heart. I got over that huge distraction, and
yes,
I'm proud of myself. I accomplished what I set out to do. And so that's so important, and it's so easy to give up.
so
That's the
easy.
easiest thing you could do in the world. But I promise you, the character building, literally and figuratively, will come from you pushing through and just seeing it happen, and just riding the wave of
Yes,
disappointment and heartache. But at the same time, the waves of achievement, the waves of pride, the waves of self-discovery. Like you said,
yes,
it's like, oh, I would have never thought to write that about this character, or I saw this a different way. And things
yep,
just open up when you are more flexible and, amenable, so that it's not so structured and
yeah.
rigid, but you can
And I
still
I
get
think
that
that's the
going.
one thing, exactly, because I think that's the one thing that will cause you to quit a lot faster,
Hmm.
um, or be tempted to quit a lot faster, is when you are literally very stringent about it. Like it has
Mhm.
to be this way, and if it's not done this way, then you have no flexibility. But I'm it's just like in life, you have to be flexible, because sometimes things aren't going to always come the direction that you think it should, because you have to go through that growth process, because you have to go through that learning and lesson process. There's something for you to gain that is going to increase the value of you, um, by going the other way. But if you're so focused on this one way and doing it this particular in this particular structure, then you lose it and lose the lesson. And then when that thing comes, when that hard drive is dropped, right? Whatever your hard drive moment is, whenever
Right,
it's dropped, you're like, oh, it's over.
right,
But
right.
no. So that's why you have to keep your why in front of you, because your why helps to keep pushing
You
you. It
fly.
helps you stay focused on what it is that you need to be doing. So I'm going to give our viewers one more chance tonight before I get your golden nugget of wisdom for writing. I want to give our viewers one more chance to take a look here. Listen, I told y'all she's blessing us tonight, you guys. She's blessing us with a discount code, Hunty. So go ahead, go over to a soulfultouch.com. All right. Make sure you grab your book, 28 Days to a Soulful Life. You have the journal and you have the book itself. If you get one or the other, if you buy just one book, you're going to get 10% off if you use the code Key to Life. That's QUI, the number 2 LIFE. If you go ahead and jump out there and say, I need them both, I can't have one without the other, we understand, because it's a journal that goes along with the journey, baby. Then you're going to get free shipping if you use the code FREE Key to Life. That's free, QUI, the number 2 life. All right. Go ahead and make sure you make your way over to a soulfultouch.com. And then let me tell you, because she does so many things. We're talking about the books, but there's a lot of treats over there too on that website that you might want to go ahead and grab while you're there. I'm just saying. She has some lovely things over there that I love, and I need to reorder as well. So go on over to soulfultouch.com. Check her out, you guys. Now, before we go, because time, I always say time flies when we're having fun.
Yes.
My question to you is, what would you like? What nugget of wisdom would you like to leave with our viewers tonight to help them along their journey as they're completing their projects and writing their way to a soulful life?
Just like I said before, just be flexible, be open to the experience. Don't be so rigid. I know there's nothing wrong with wanting what you want, because I know you have a vision of how, you're seeing things out, but sometimes it may not work the way you think it should, and it may come from
Yes.
another way. And it's not that you're not going to get the same outcome. It's just the fact that you just can't do it in that way,
Right.
and just take your time with the project. There's the only timeline you have is the one you set for yourself, and even if you do have a publisher and all that great stuff, this is your project. This is your baby. This is your
Yes.
experience. So you want to ensure that it's done in a way that will make you feel proud for your children, the legacy you want to leave in
Yes.
this world. So don't just rush it because you say, oh, you saw your friend post, her book that she published, that she didn't tell you that she was working on. Don't do that.
Yeah, no.
Comparison is the thief of joy. And so know
Yes.
that this
Uh-oh.
is your thing, and keep your eyes on your own paper. You know what I'm saying? This is what I need to do for me, and know that this is what you're supposed to be doing. If that's what is set to do, if it was placing your spirit to do it, then see it all the way through. But do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? So don't
Yes.
expect to do little and get this great reward. But at the same time, what you put in is what you get out of it. So that's what the writing process is, and make it yours. Make it comfortable. Make it so beautiful that you just like, there are days when I was writing stuff and it made me cry. So you want to think about, is that going to make my reader cry? Is that going to really move them in a certain way?
Yes.
To really engulf yourself in the process. Don't lose yourself in it, but just really just delve in and enjoy it, have fun, even with the disappointment. Just say, I call them life speed bump. That was a speed bump. I'm gonna get
Yes.
over it. I'm gonna keep
And
moving in the
keep
direction that I
on
want to
moving.
be. So
Yes.
basically,
Listen, you can't say basically that's it. Like you just dropped like a whole paragraph of wisdom. A whole paragraph of wisdom. Be flexible. That's number one. Be flexible. Hold on. Comparison is the thief of joy.
yes, it is.
Somebody need to write that quote down. Comparison is the thief of joy. Okay, that was another one. Stay in your lane. What she say? No, she ain't say stay in your lane. She said keep your eyes
Eyes on
on
your
your
own
own paper.
Yes,
Listen, that's just 3 of them nuggets. You're gonna have to go back and watch the replay, baby, because she gave a whole paragraph of nothing
yeah,
but wisdom. You see
yeah,
why she's one of my favorite people? And she's talking about living a soulful life, y'all. Listen, the biggest nugget that she's given us all night long is be authentically you. Be you unapologetically, not be a jerk. That's not permission for you to go out and treat people mean and bad and be a jerk. That's not what
right,
she said. She
right,
said be unapologetically you. That means walk in your lane, know who you are, understand what your value is and what you're serving up and how you are meant to make a difference in the lives of those you encounter and those that are around you. All right.
right.
Listen, a whole mouthful of wisdom tonight. Whole mouthful of wisdom. I hope you got it. I'm so grateful to you, Khetnu, for joining me tonight. It's been such a pleasure hosting you once again. I love it when we come together and do beautiful things. Make sure you guys go over to a soulfultouch.com. Get the book 28 days to a soulful life. Get the journal too, because I'm telling you, those aha moments, you're going to want a way to write down those thoughts. And I know we all journal, at least most of us writers do, but it's just good to have it all in one place so you don't have to flip back through a million pages just to find that aha moment. So go ahead and grab that journal as well. um Thank you again. I'm so grateful for you. You guys know what to do. I tell you all the time. Make sure you share this because there is somebody out there that needs to hear these golden nuggets she dropped tonight, y'all. And guess what? I don't know them. Khetnu doesn't know them, but guess who does, baby? You do. And the only way they're gonna get it is if you share. Make sure you like, share, comment, join the conversation. If you had to think on it a little bit, we'll still be watching and monitoring. Join the conversation, okay? And make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss next week. Next week, we have Ella Kushner on with us. Listen, she's all about self-empowerment. I can't wait to talk to her about her journey as well. Hope you tune in next week too. Thank you, Miss Khetnu. Thank you for the
Thank
wisdom.
you. Thank you
We
so much.
certainly appreciate you for sure. Thank you, Janine Melton, for joining the conversation. We
Oh, that's
certainly
my
appreciate you. Yes, we appreciate you watching tonight. We want to give you some love, and I'm not going to prolong. Thank you for watching. This has been Pen, the Writers Utopia. You guys make sure you tune in next week. We'll have another great artist. Thank you, Khetnu.
Thank you, sis. Have a great
Have
night,
a
everyone.
great night, you guys. I'm telling you, I loved chatting with you tonight. I loved it.